Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. Mexican Economy Minister Ildefonso Guajardo has urged for a deeper dialogue between the United States and Mexico that leads to certain victories on both sides of the border. Mexico and the United States face a diplomatic standoff over trade, immigration, and a proposed border wall, and Guajardo has urged that any changes to the NAFTA agreement provides wins for the three member nations. Speaking last week at the Mexican Financial Summit in Mexico City, he said, however, that it won't be easy to make changes to NAFTA. The more than 10,000 original rules in the trade agreement could be put forward at the renegotiating table, but the purpose of the talks is to strengthen the original content. Guajardo expressed that Mexico won't enter any discussions on trade without a backup plan. No negotiator will sit at the table without a plan B. If you don't have a plan B, you'll be damaged. Simple as that, he said. If there's pressure at the table, it'll hurt competitiveness in the region. The minister stated that Mexico's plan B could involve levying a tax on U.S. imports. Guajardo said he expects the negotiations to begin in the summer and finish by the end of the year. Mexico sends about 80% of its exports to the United States. Bilateral trade between the two countries is worth some $500 billion. Moving on. Globally, green bonds are booming. The instruments accounted for $40 billion in new issuance in 2015, following years of rapid growth, according to OECD calculations. Yet Latin America is sitting out the frenzy. A market failure on financing energy efficiency in Mexico has been discovered, says Maria Tapia, a lead investment officer at the Inter-American Investment Corporation. There's a lack of available financing. Energía Eólica, a Peruvian wind farm operator, was the first Latin American company to issue a green bond in the cross-border market with a $204 million transaction in December 2014. Since then, only 6 trades have followed. Although Latin America's first green bond came from a Peruvian issuer, now Mexico is leading the way in the asset class. The IIC is establishing a pool of energy efficiency projects in Mexico that qualify under the green bond principles, guidelines set forth by the International Capital Markets Association. Once this is ready, a special purpose vehicle will issue an IIC-backed green bond. The pilot securitization in Mexico is poised to launch this year. If the trial goes well in Mexico, it may roll out to other parts of Latin America. In other headlines, if you're looking for a new city to live in Mexico that offers a better quality of life than you could find in any other, it's time to consider Monterrey. According to the Quality of Life survey conducted by human resources consultant Mercer, this year in its 19th edition, the capital of Nuevo León is placed above Mexico City, within a ranking of 231 cities around the world. The Sultana del Norte is ranked 110th, while the capital, Mexico City, occupies 128th position. In order to obtain the results, the consultant carried out surveys between September and November of 2016, analyzing 39 factors grouped into 10 categories, ranging from political and social environment, economic and socio-cultural environment, medical considerations, schools, public services and transportation, entertainment, consumer goods, housing, and the environment. In addition, this year, a joint ranking of urban infrastructure was carried out, which assesses the population's access to electricity, potable water, telephone and email, public transport, as well as vehicular traffic and supply on international flights. In this ranking, Monterrey was ranked 111th and Mexico City in the 133rd position. On the overall count, the city with the best quality of life for 8 consecutive years remains Vienna, Austria. With regard to North America, the best city is Vancouver, Canada, ranked 5th. And finally, let's check the markets. The The Mexican peso gained for the third day against the US dollar on Tuesday, reaching the highest since the US election. The strength comes amid a dollar slide after the Fed left expectations for 2017 rate hikes unchanged last week and after the US administration appears to have adopted a soft approach. The peso was up 0.3% to 18.95 on the dollar, around 12:15 London time. IPC Mexico increased 1.12% to 48,593 from 48,057 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.